Alrighty, guys, what is going on? And welcome back to another episode of the podcast that has finally been named. We landed
You
on
got a name.
we landed on Kanto Conversations. My name's Rob over at Red or Blue.
And I'm Connor, Rock Pokemon. What's up, guys? Thanks for
Guys,
joining us.
thank you
Another
so
week.
much for joining. We've had a lot of love and support for the podcast so far. I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. And today we have a really interesting one with celebrations, around the corner next week. What is it? Coming out on the 8th, ma'am? Something like that?
The 8th is the first wave of product. Yep. So
Yeah.
pretty exciting.
Yeah. And so we're gonna talk celebrations, kind of talk about the English versus Japanese, and then we're gonna go ahead and get into underrated, overrated. And I think that should kind of land us around that 1 hour mark. So celebrations. Let's just get into it. Connor, give me some feedback. Give me some thoughts about the set so far.
Sure. So I've tried to not look at a ton of I know there's the kind of full set lists are out there and there's a lot of spoilers. I have a very good idea of what the cards are gonna look like, hoping they might sneak something in we haven't seen. But man, I tell you, I think I'm most excited for personally for a lot of the full art Pikachu, these alternate arts, because they're not pure reprints. They're a totally different take, a totally different art style on the flying Pikachu, for example, than a previous card. So I'm excited for those. I think largely for the hobby, I think it's going to be really good because people are going to, I think, get drawn in and be able to see all these different points in the history of the TCG and get to taste all these different eras that maybe they grew up with WotC and haven't collected since. Maybe, they opened up, Diamond and Pearl era or whatever, and nothing other than that. And they're going to get to experience all these different parts of Pokemon's history. And so that definitely makes me excited for what this anniversary set could do for, I think, the strength of the hobby, because I think it will help solidify new entrants and have them better understand what they see how much more there is to Pokemon than just, base set Charizard. So how about you?
Even though that's in there.
It is in there.
They had
Not
to throw
that
it
we
in there,
needed
man.
it. We didn't really. I really don't want it. Give me full art Professor Oak instead, because I don't need another Charizard reprint. But
That card's
how
sick.
about you, Rob? Yeah, it's gonna be sweet.
Yeah, and I totally agree. I've been ingesting a lot of content in regards to celebrations, kind of the general sense of what's going around, and something that I totally agree with is that it's kind of meant to be that set to kind of get the fire going again, kind of like evolutions, bring more people back into the hobby. These cards are nostalgic. You got gold stars, you got EXs, you got level Xs, you got primes, you got base set. I mean, you just have a smorgasbord of Pokemon. And so it's a small set. What is it, 50 cards or something like that
I think
from what's
60.
been,
Yeah.
from what's been released. And I don't know if they're going to add more, but I think that's that's it for right now. And I actually have something to show you, and it might be a little bit of spoilers for some people. So if you guys aren't ready to kind of
spoiler alert.
Yeah, if you guys aren't ready to see these cards yet, but I found a leak and I wanted to go ahead and share it with you guys. Do you think that you'd be open to it, ma'am?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And let me know when it comes through.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So these pictures that I got, I had to take snapshots of a video that was played on Instagram, Gary's Pokemart. I'm sure that most of you guys have seen the video. And basically, he got product early. There's a lot of rumors floating around saying that it was stolen. But basically what had happened is this guy who owns a shop, a brick and mortar shop, I think in LA, was making these videos on Instagram talking about he's got all this product, hit him up, all this stuff. He was doing an opening. He did open up a bunch of packs, one of the first people to release content. And then a couple of days later, his store got broken into.
Oh, this is that guy.
And he got robbed.
Oh,
Yeah. And
jeez.
so I'm not going to share my feelings in regards to like
Mhm.
what happened with that, but these are the screenshots that I took from that video. And you can tell that they're not the best. I kind of photoshopped them to make them a little bit more clear and
Mhm.
more legible. But so far, here's what we got. And this is straight out of the ETB, the booklet that has
Yeah.
the set list. So I think that this is it, but who knows with Pokemon. Um, so it looks like we
Dude, that
have
Kyogre is amazing.
oh yeah. And it looks like it has like some Team Aqua in there. It's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So excuse me. So we have the Ho-Oh, the Reshiram, the Kyogre, we got the Palkia, we got the cool full art Pikachu.
Ah, dude,
Um,
that thing has so many awesome pieces in the background. Like there's like a Caterpie, and like that's the one I've like actually looked at hard. There's like 3 or 4 other Pokemon in that card. It's so cool.
and believe it or not, but this one is actually very easy to pull. It's one that
Love
you will
that.
see often.
Give it to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. So it's not going to be like one of the big hits that people might be grading in high value, because the leaks that
Mhm.
I've seen in regards to people opening packs, every single ETB has at least one of these in there, if not more. But that
Dude,
it's a small sample size.
I just watched a reel today. The only one I've really seen of someone opening a celebrations pack, and that was the card that they pulled.
Right. Yeah.
So
So we also
sounds
have
about right.
Flying Pikachu V
Mm.
Max. You got the Surfing Pikachu V coming on down here. We have the Surfing Pikachu V Max. We have Zekrom Mew, which is a really cool Mew. And by the way, guys, all of these are all hollow. Every single card's a hollow in the set. Every single one. You got the Xerneas. You got the Cosmog, the Cosmoem. Um, uh, I can't tell the Lunala, and it's got a really
Lunala.
cool. It's like Lunala here and Lily right here, like looking off into the sunset. It's a
Yes.
beautiful
Yes.
card. I mean, just stunning. You got Zacian, you got the Groudon with Team Magma here, like one of the guys here, one another guy over here. So really cool artwork. Zamazenta, Yveltal, Dialga,
Like
and
of course they
then
had to do Zashi and Zamazenta. Like you
yeah,
can't not.
yeah, oh yeah. These up here, I can't remember what it is. This is Professor Oak, and then
Oh,
this is
that
the
one's cool.
Professor
Yeah.
Oak's research, that full art.
Yep.
It's badass.
The oak that he's reaching down and writing, like how like that like I guess you would call it like breaking the fourth wall kind of like
Right.
that's oh man, that direction of the art. It's kind of
Yeah.
like that there's a couple in that style, whether it's like the Expedition Blastoise or the Neo Discovery Kabutops, where it's like, or Neo Revelation, where it's coming out of the card almost. Like that's a really cool feature of artwork, I think, for Pokemon to keep pursuing. That's
It just
sweet.
reminds me of like the Gold Stars and like the level X's where it breaks the border and
Yeah.
it has that 3D effect. And I'm with you, dude. It's super cool.
Yeah.
And then we have the Mew.
Man,
You got
that's wild.
the trio here, the old school. You got Imposter, you got Dark Gyarados. Here comes Team Rocket, Rocket Zapdos. And then this is the toughest one because he was moving it. So I had to take a screenshot and it wasn't a clear picture. So forgive me on this one. But you got Birthday's Pikachu, you got the Cleffa from Neogen, you got the Shiny
Great
Magikarp from Neo Rev, you got the Groudon. I can't remember what this card is. You got Mew EX, you got Gardevoir, you got the beautiful Umbreon, which is the chase card. You got Claydol, Luxray, Garchomp, Donphan. And then here, I'm actually really excited for those two.
Oh yeah, that's your jam.
Beautiful. I love those two cards, the Reshiram and Zekrom. You got the Mewtwo EX, you got the Xerneas EX, and then you got the Rayquaza EX, and then the Tapu Lele GX. So those are the cards from what I'm understanding that's in the regular set. Now, half those cards, 25 of them, are considered, what is it, the classic collection, something like that?
Yeah, yeah.
And those are where like all the cards that have been reprinted, that's what they're coming from. So all the big hits that you want to go after, primarily they're going to be the classic collection. Now, the Golden Mew is not part of the classic collection. That's part of like the main set. The Pikachus that you were talking about, those flying Pikachu, VMAX and whatnot, that's part of the regular set. The full art Pikachu, that's part of the regular set. But all these reprinted cards that's all part of the classic collection. So it's like a very important distinction to kind of talk about, and something that I'm going to dip into later when we get into the Japanese section. But just staying on celebrations right now, my thoughts is that I think that it's going to be great for the hobby. A lot of cool potential pulls. It's going to be really fun. And I think it's going to be really addicting because these packs only have 4 cards each. And we're used to pulling, 10, 11, something like that.
Yeah.
And so they're going to go quick and they're all holographic. So every card is going to be like a little dopamine hit, right?
Oh,
and
man.
then the pull rates are very good. So you're going to be getting these pulls and you're going to want that next pack. So I do think that off the rip here that people are going to want to open this set and it's going to be real fun. Now, the counter argument from what I've heard is that it's such a small set. People are going to complete it really fast. It's going to be really easy and they're not going to want to open it. And I don't think that's going to be the case because I think it's going to be really fun to open.
And there's going to be certain ones of these cards, to your point, and we'll talk about this more with Japanese, where I think there's going to be a handful that's going to make it really hard for someone to just open and complete, right? Mm-hmm. They're going to end up a couple away. So here's a question for you, or something I want to touch on is, for people who want, there's all these celebrations products, right? So how do you think, or what have you seen for how people should attack all the products out there in order to get the most celebrations packs, right? Because as we know, these products all have different mixes of packs. So have you thought about that at all, or what's your strategy for that?
Yeah, and great question. And I'm really curious to hear your feedback as well. Mm-hmm. The two that I think are going to be the best in regards to opening and regards to keeping sealed, in regards to investing opportunities, even though mm-hmm. I'm going to be very careful of that word investing with modern. So but
speculating, gambling on future potential.
Yes, I think your best bet and the most bang for your buck for both areas, to open and to keep sealed, are going to be the ETB and the premium, the ultra premium collection box, and there's 2 of them actually. So for the ETB, if you want to open it, you get that Gold Star Greninja and every single one, which is a really cool card. I'm sure that people are going to open that. They're going to send it in PSA Express, $150. It's probably going to yield a nice little profit off the get. So if you can get yours early, you can get it at store opening day, or maybe you pre-order and it comes and you go ahead to do that and you get a gem mint copy. It might be smart to gamble and to try to go and do that. If you can assess it and say, hey, this has a good shot at a 10, you might be able to make a little bit of money in that regards, or it's just a really cool card for your collection. And then I think you get 10 packs of celebrations, I believe, in the ETB.
I'm pretty sure. Because I think it's a bigger, at least in the Pokemon Center one, I believe, because those are bigger than normally. ETBs are usually 8, I think, but these ones are expanded because there's less packs, and there might be extra. I think there's extra packs in them too of other stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. So it's 8 packs if it's not a special set, but because Hidden Fate, Shining Legends, Champion's Path, those are considered special sets. And so they'll have the promo in it, and then they'll have 10 packs. But the other ones that just have 8 packs won't have the promo. They'll just have all the other, stuff that no one cares about. So I think the ETB is going to be a good pickup. Again, it's all about your entry point, guys. So I'm not saying go buy $150 ETB that you're, it's going on eBay right now, but if you can get an MSRP, if you pre-ordered at, something reasonable, I think that that's going to be a good bang for your buck. And then the other one's going to be the premium collection boxes. If you look at Hidden Fates, Shining Legends, one of the ones that I had there with the Ho-Oh, those boxes have yielded the most return over time. They've gone up the most. And then to your point of what are the products with those new gold cards in it that just came out today that I just saw?
So that's the ultra premium collector's box, right? So not not the ones like you have where you can that have a pin in them and they're kind of sprayed out and how those look, but this is that big white box with a bunch of different items, and inside those are going to be those jumbo gold box toppers or whatever that just leaked out today. So, and that's the first we'd ever heard. I couldn't tell if they were box toppers or if I perceived them as jumbos the way I looked at them.
Let me pull it up here for you guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull one up on my end too while you do that.
Just so I can screen share it with you guys. So Pikazard Collector just released a photo today, and I tried to message him before.
And they're metal, right? It's the ultra premium collection.
I don't know if they're they look like they got some shine on it. So here, I'll go ahead and share my screen for anybody that's watching here. They look like they have some type of, metallic shine to it. So that could be very well. So here we go. Can you see my screen? So this is what they look like, guys. And they have really cool texture on it. Just like those old school black and white secret rares, that secret rare Charizard from Plasma Storm or the Blastoise. I love that texture. It just looks so good with the gold. So it has the texture all around it, along with within the background of the holo as well. And then it looks like the border is like straight gold or like aluminum or metal, whatever it is.
These are definitely metal cards. I'm 99% confident that they're metal cards, which is super cool. I'm curious how thick they are. Too, what they're gonna be like. Can you grade these? Like, it's gonna be super interesting to see. It's also interesting that they don't have the stamp on them. Did you notice that?
Yes, and that's the biggest reason why I like these.
Yeah, same.
I can't get over that stamp, man.
Oh, that Pikachu dude with those eyes, man. I love it. Oh, man.
I mean, those two cards look really good in gold, how they did that, how they laid it out. So I think that those two products on my end for me is going to be really cool because you can open those, you can grade these cards, or you can grade the Greninja. You get a lot of packs. Or if you want to keep them sealed, people are going to want to kind of have that, later down the line. I think that that's going to be your best shot at like kind of the best of both worlds. Like that's just my personal opinion. How about you?
So I think that just like economically speaking, like if you just want celebrations packs, you don't want any of the others, the promos or the pins or any of the specials, the jumbos, right? The V Union, all these things. I think that both from an opening and enjoyment perspective, as well as like some collectability around it, even if you want to keep them sealed or not, but the mini tins, because the mini tins have the best amount of packs per dollar that you're going to spend anywhere on Celebrations product, hands down.
What does that look like?
So they're just like, I got one down here. So they're just like these. They're mini tins. They're going to have I believe they just have 2 packs in them, right? So maybe 3 for Celebrations. I got to double check myself. Hilarious. I like totally forget when we get on the podcast, but the kicker for me, especially as a collector, is that they all have, there's 8 different versions with the starters from each region.
Right.
So collecting like all 8 of them, I think is going to be a really big thing. I think those are a product that are going to be available. Like when you go into Walmart and you go to the case or go to wherever, like I have a feeling that these are going to be more readily available. I hope, just because as we've seen over time, like I can still go into Walmart today and pick up those tins that have evolutions packs in them, which is crazy because I can get them for like whatever they are. It's like $7, maybe $8, and it's got an Evo pack and a what else is in there? Like Sun and Moon base. Maybe it's usually one of each, and then there's a coin and a little card. So, and I just really like collecting those. Like I think they're really neat. Like here, like this one with like Yamper and Morpeko on it, I think is really cool. Like I just really like them. And so I think that's going to be a great space for any collector to like focus on, and who just wants to enjoy opening the packs, because then you can still keep the tins empty too, as like a display piece, right? Or as like, something in your collection. So, and then I think I definitely agree on the ETBs for both reasons. I have 2 or 3 of those pre-ordered. I didn't get one of the Pokemon Center ones. I didn't luck out on that, but I have a handful of that stuff coming in through GameStop, hopefully. And then I think the third one, as a more like, to your point, of a display, like keep sealed for the longer term, might be those Pikachu V Union boxes. And
They
I
look pretty cool.
believe so I think to open, like, it's going to be super cool because they give you all four, right? So it's not like, I was most worried with V Union, like, I'm going to have to go chase down all four of these. Like, how am I going to get them all, right? Until I
Right.
saw the product, right? So, but I think it also comes with the jumbo. So I think there's a jumbo of the whole art with all 25 of those Pikachus from all the different artists. And then there's the four, and then there's packs. So I think
That's sweet.
I like, you guys can't, the top shelf of my one display over here, it's all like Pikachu stuff. Like, everyone loves Pikachu. Like, I got him right here. Like, here's a little hungry Pikachu that I just got my hands on. But that's from a value perspective, obviously one of the most iconic characters out there. And then from a value perspective, I would expect that people are going to really want that V Union and that jumbo, and there's celebrations packs in there. So, maybe you buy two, you open one to enjoy all the pieces in it, and then you put another one on your shelf to display. I think that's going to be pretty cool, especially if they're outward facing, which I think they are, the V Union cards, so you can see them. So that's my take. I think that the like that ultra premium box and like the box with the statue of Pikachu and all that, all they're really cool products. Then you've got like the various pin boxes, and you've got the lunch box, which I actually think is another good one to potentially pick up.
What's in that? Do you know? Because I don't know what's in it.
Oh, geez. I know it's good bang for your buck for the packs. I remember when I ran the math, like the quantity of packs was good for what you get. And I forget what else is in there. I think like some sleeves and some other like cool knick-knacky stuff. But even just having like that collector's chest thing is pretty neat, I think.
Yeah.
I know that's a good value one because it's like $25, right? So it's, if it has if it has 4 to 6 packs in there, you're doing pretty good on a per dollar basis. There's just a lot of product, and I think that some of them are overpriced for what you're getting as far as packs, but do have a lot of cool stuff in them as a collector. It's just like, I think you're going to have to be really selective and budget with this set. And we also don't know like how much is going to come out, what's going to be available. I've heard a few things. Have you heard anything about like allocations or how just available Celebrations is going to be for many years?
I'm really happy you asked, because that's exactly one I wanted to cover next. Is like, I want to encourage people to like not have the whole FOMO mentality with this set, because from what I've heard, like the word around the water cooler is that Pokemon is going to print this set. It's going to print to demand. It may not be like right off the get in regards to, wave one, everyone's getting their allocation numbers or, half their numbers, whatever. I don't know what that looks like exactly, but from the various distributors that I've talked to, or, different channels that kind of focus on like selling modern product and all that, from what we've heard and like reading stuff, on sources like PokeBeach and whatnot, it's going to be a set that's going to be printed. And so if you don't get stuff like right away, like it's all good. It's not going to just dry up and you got to go pay these scalping prices. Like, just be patient, guys. And like, you will get your product. And so that's kind of like what I've heard. And like, and it's reassuring, because I think that it will be a cool set to open, because there's just so many like cool pulls that like people can't afford these cards in like the vintage sets, like an Umbreon Gold Star, like most people, including myself, like that's a lot of money to be spending on any graded copy or ungraded copy of that card. But then now you might have a chance to pull it or get a PSA 10 or even a PSA 9 for a very affordable price. That's cool. I really like that. So again, I think that this set is meant to like have fun, draw people back in, get people back into the mix, loving Pokemon again, enjoying the artworks. And I'm not going to stress about like if I don't get I didn't pre-order anything. I'm just gonna,
Mm-hmm.
go to my store on opening day. I can usually find product. I live in a small resort
Nice.
town. Yeah. And I can just like check every day. It's 5 minutes away from where I live. So if I don't get
Nice.
anything there, I'll just be patient until I see product hit the store, because it always does. It always does.
Yeah.
So I'm keen to hear your thoughts. Like, what have you been hearing in regards to
Yeah.
allocation numbers or anything like that?
I think from what I understand, I think off the get, it might be tough. And I think this is where, to your point, people are going to have to exercise patience.
Mm,
I think that there will be a lot of this printed
yeah.
a lot of it's been printed, right? So you guys have to realize, like, supply chains and economics that are pervasive to, not just trading cards, but like everything, are still recovering right now from 2020 and into
Right.
2021. And there have been a lot of hiccups there. So you got to think about, like, a lot of this stuff gets printed, this is probably printed over, six, maybe 9 months ago. They probably started printing this stuff or putting it together. Who knows, right? It's not like they just printed it last week, right? So there's obviously a super high demand from a, distribution standpoint off the get. I think that it's going to take time for it to trickle out. So, like, it's hard, right? Because everyone wants to, like, open it off the
Right.
release, because that's when they see their friends, that's when they watch YouTube, that's whatever.
Mhm.
I got really lucky. Like, I just happened to look at the GameStop website, and so I pre-ordered at MSRP, right? I didn't pre-order like, a
Right.
4x ETB on
Right.
eBay. Like, I'm not gonna, like, I can wait 6 months for that, like, no
Mhm.
biggie. So yeah, I think that people, like, just need to be super patient. It's going to be okay. You're going to be able to get it over time. Um, and yeah, just, like, try to support your local game store and see what they're doing and talk to the guys there. And hopefully you've built relationships with them. If not saying you get any insider info, but, like, if you have rapport with them, you can ask, like, hey, like, what's, what are you going to have for 25th? Have you heard, like,
Mhm.
whatever? So I think that's, the good focus. And then, hey, you want to go to Walmart at 8 a.m. on Friday the 8th, you might get a shot. So go for it. If not, don't stress about it. It's
Mhm.
not worth it enough to, like, have anxiety over if you're going to be able to get it or not.
I 100%
Yeah,
agree. Like, that mentality,
yeah,
like, just has to go with collectors, because that's like what breeds, like this influx of like demand right now within like a short amount of time. That's where the scalpers live, and that's like what
yeah,
allows them to like create this environment where it's like, boom, hype, let's get on it, like jack up these prices. But if people are like, hey, I'll get it when I get it, we're all gonna open it, we're all gonna have fun. Like, it's gonna be printed. It's not like before where we're like, we don't really know, are they
hmm,
going to be doing this stuff? Like, there was just so many more variables before as compared to now. Like, we know that we've heard word from Pokemon saying, like, over tweets and posts and all this stuff, saying that we are printing this stuff. Like, be
yeah,
patient, it's all good, it's going to be out there and available. Like, it definitely, I think it should like create some, like, take some of that FOMO away. But again, I feel like
hmm,
there's a lot of people that are just kind of uneducated and they don't listen to what's going on, and they think that that same mentality of like 2020 of like, I got to get it now or it's going to be gone.
scarcity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is like still here, and it's not. And
yeah,
like, as we continue to move on, when like Pokemon Company is like, they're creating new facilities and creating new printing facilities and building more machines and stuff like that, as we get to more of that stuff, we're gonna have like our fill. You know what I mean? Like, it's
yeah.
going to get much better as time goes on too.
Yeah. I'm very interested in how, it's an aside, because obviously, like, Pokemon shares printing capacity with a lot of other TCGs, right? So they are yet to own the full supply chain of their printing process, right? Nintendo, and, hasn't gone that far. Well, they have a small stake, but anyway, the Pokemon Company, all the the stake makers there,
Mhm.
haven't done that yet. But I'm curious, like, how some of these new TCGs get printer capacity, or like where they're printing, or how that happens. Cause, like, I know there've been issues with printing lately in Pokemon from a quality standpoint, and then also most recently, like I think I could be wrong on this, but like something like 70% of Fusion Arts had like a print error where they had to scrap it. So there's going
Oh,
to be
really?
allocation issues with that. Yeah. So
Mm,
that's just kind of something I haven't looked deeply enough at the factual evidence there, but that's what
that's
I've
interesting.
heard. A large portion of it had some errors, so the allocations are going to be low. But yeah, I think that like, you know, new, new printing facilities don't just like pop up overnight. Like it takes
Right.
time, guys. So, but there's so much more capacity, and because I think of demand, there's been a shift in business strategy, probably for better or for worse for those companies, but probably good for us as consumers. As over the
Mhm.
next few years, I think there's going to be an excess of product in general,
I
whether it's
agree.
lingering 25th anniversary, or it's, you know, evolving skies or chilling rain or battle styles. Like I think there's going to be, and whatever else they decide to reprint and how that cycles, like,
Mhm.
because what happens is a lot of times things can be reactionary, right? So you end up overshooting as a company from your production or investment standpoint in
Mhm.
yourself to meet demand, and then if demand wanes, there ends up being excess supply. So
Right.
um, all that to be said, I get it. It's hard. Like people want to open this and they want to open it now.
Mhm.
Sometimes I feel like it's good to like operate a set behind, like like
Yeah.
open. You should be
Yeah.
like buying Evolving Skies next Friday instead of Celebrations and then wait. But no, I think I think it's just gonna take a little patience. It's gonna take a little time, but what I really like about how they've done this set is you've got you've also got more products still coming out, right? You've got a second wave of products that come out on the 22nd. You've got collection boxes that are specific to different retailers. So you've got Walmart, Target, and
Mhm.
GameStop all with their own specific product, which just gives you different channels to access, their different products, but they're still going to have the packs, right? If what we're
Right.
after is really enjoying the set, right? You're going to have this Amazon exclusive product, which I don't know how that's going to end up rolling out, but that's coming out in Q4. Um, and then just across the core of what's been either released for the 8th or the 22nd, there is just a myriad of products at different price points. I mean, we've got what, 10 to 15 different products easy, like for one set, guys. Like
Right.
that's kind of, off the get. That's kind of crazy when you think about it. Like stuff drips out
Mhm.
over time, like for different sets. But I think that's what's so nice about it, is because literally if you've got $10 in your pocket to spend on Pokemon, you're going to be able to enjoy this set, which I think is pretty cool. Um, and kind of, unprecedented, because sometimes it's like, well, there's ETBs and there's booster boxes, and that's what you get,
Or
and you probably
blisters,
only
the
get one or
3-pack
the other.
blisters or the singles, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So it's like, and sometimes those, like you say, the blisters come out and those are fun because they have promos and stuff, but
Mhm.
they have pumped just a ton of, I think marketing effort into how they design this product. And, I think they've done a good job. And I think that it has a lot of promise for like a couple years of like strong draw to the hobby. And
Yeah.
I think the stuff's going to linger and be there, and people are going to be able to enjoy it. So,
Yeah.
um,
I mean, look at Evolutions, man. I mean, it took
yeah,
them was it like 4 or 5 years for that box to move?
yeah,
Like it literally stayed at like 90 to $100 for like
yeah,
4 years straight.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they just
And they're still
printed it.
pumping those suckers out.
They just printed it to demand. The purpose of it was to get people back in, have fun,
Yeah.
open and enjoy, and like kind of get that nostalgia and like reliving those childhood memories again. It's not
Mhm.
meant to like, you know, throw away 100 boxes in your closet and invest in this stuff. Like that's not the
Yeah.
purpose of it, you know? Like so for me, I think it's very similar to this. And like, yes, guys, evolutions has gone up, and but it's taken a long time. mixed with a huge boom that we've never seen before in Pokemon that has gotten us here. So please do not depend on like what's happened in the past is going to happen with celebrations. Like enjoy, have fun. I'm going to have a couple things that I'll keep sealed just because I think that they're going to make great display pieces. There's stuff that I want to hold over time, like long time, 10 plus years, just because I think it's a cool piece to own of history, 25 years. Like I have something from that, like looking back on that, like that's cool to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going into this
like
like
at the 50th anniversary, we're going to be able to be like, look at my 25th anniversary. Like that's pretty cool. Like, I don't know. Something to be said for that historical significance. Those milestones in a hobby.
Exactly.
Are big.
Yeah. And so I'm not going into this stuff saying like celebration is going to be super investable. We can make all this money. We're just going to have fun, open up some packs. And whether I get the opening day, if I can go to Walmart on my lunch break and there's some stuff there, which usually there is, I'm, you know, like I said, you know, small resort town, lucky guy. Or I have to wait a month or 2 months to open packs. Like I'm going to be patient because I don't need it now in my life. Like that's not something that I need right now. I can enjoy the hobby so many different ways. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not one of those people where I have to open up packs. I have to be a part, like in the mix, one of the cool kids posting on Instagram, like, look at this, look at that. Like, I don't need to be one of those guys. I've kind of like grown apart from that, like, and kind of moved away from it because it's just too expensive. Like I've just come to the realization that like, I can't be in the mix, opening up the new set all the time. Like first one to put the videos out. Like, it just doesn't work that way for people with
and it's just stressful.
A realistic budget, you know? It's super stressful.
It's like I don't in that self-imposed, like that's us making our own problems, but like I don't want to have to think, oh man, are they gonna drop this product today and then refresh the Pokemon Center website every 15 minutes while I'm at work for 6 like no one like you can't focus on your life if you're having to like just don't over stress about it, guys. Like it's, you know, and hey, easy for coming from the guy who, you know, has stuff pre-ordered on GameStop already and knows he's going to get some, but it's like, I don't know, like those could all get canceled. Yeah. I'm such a jackwagon. So I tell you though, I try to tell the people, like as soon as I see it, I screenshot it, I put it on the story. It's like, good luck to you. But yeah, I think that's a key thing is like just not creating self-imposed stress. Like it's not worth it to get like modern Pokemon. Like it's not worth that stress to like worry about. It's you build things up in your head and it's like, what's the worst that could happen? Like you just don't get to open it. Like then so be it. And you know what? There's going to be another set and another set. And it's like, this is a long game. This is a long game. And enjoying the hobby has never been about overhyping yourself into every set. Like that is how you get broad-based attrition from the hobby. And you end up in these like really unhealthy, like almost dead periods where there's risk of, you know, kind of the whole thing falling out of favor or collapsing. So that's the last thing I want to see. And I think that there's going to be, as always, a little, you know, a lot of FOMO off the get, but I think that because of how they're going to print and distribute this over time, there's going to be hopefully a better staying power for people in the hobby on this one. And I'm really hoping for it. I'm hoping they can get over some of the print hurdles and they can have it widely accessible. And, you know, I think it'll be interesting to see how they change their strategy over time too. Like, will Pokemon just start going like with this introduction of Amazon and with, you know, more exclusive products to individual stores? Like, what are their sales channels going to look like in the future? Like, are they just going to go direct to consumer? Like, are they going to be able to figure out how to build a functioning website? Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Like, man,
it's not looking good so far.
No, not looking good so far. Topps did a better job today, even though it was still bad. For those of you who don't know, Topps dropped MetaZoo today, and it was a better experience than most people have with Pokemon Center. I did pick up a couple for myself just out of curiosity. So Neither here nor there on that. But that to be said, if they want to create this plan to distribute 25th anniversary and subsequent sets really into the hands of people who want it, they're going to have to figure out some of the sales channels a little better. But you know, companies go through this, growing pains all the time, and who could have expected there would ever be this much demand? Like, I don't even think when they were planning 25th anniversary, probably 2 or 3 years ago, thinking about it, right? The execs over there, like you could have never imagined this would happen. Like, how could you ever plan for this kind of, demand? So
yeah, it's like PSA or even like Zoom. You know what I mean? Did you feel like the debacle was Zoom, like when COVID hit and they were growing so fast beyond their capabilities? It's like, who can expect that a worldwide virus would hit and people are going to be working from home? You know what I mean? It's like,
and everyone would fall in love with cardboard again. Who could have thunk it?
Right.
It's crazy.
So I'm curious, dude, and I've been doing some research on this, and I want to know your thoughts. How are you thinking in regards from celebrations to 25th anniversary on the Japanese side? Like, what are your thoughts there?
So I would say, like, probably of the money I've budgeted or think about spending, 70 to 75% of what I spend will be on Japanese product. And I think that just reiterates what I like, what I enjoy, what I think really gets me going when I'm opening packs. And I think that for any other set, generally speaking, it would, especially going forward, it's probably going to exclusively be Japanese, or 90% of what I spend. But I think for this, there is going to be something about opening up and seeing some of those cards in English from a very nostalgic place, and enjoying some of the various cool, like the tins, I want those. I think they're really cool. Right. So, but no, I think that very similar to how awesome CP6 boxes are and those packs were, and that whole side of Evolutions, I think that it's going to be really exciting to get the booster boxes out of Japan and enjoy those. Hopefully, if my channels come through, I will end up with good bang for my buck on being able to open a lot of product and enjoy it, keep a couple on display, sealed, whatever. So, and I think over time, whereas I think a lot of people, like we talked about, will be trying to get their hands on English product, off the drop, and then throughout probably all of the rest of Q4. My whole focus is going to be getting more Japanese product at a reasonable price.
I was with you until I found something out.
What, that the sets are split?
That the Japanese side only has 28 cards, and all the big hits, the classic collection, are promos. They're individual
single card packs.
Yeah, the single card packs. That's where all the big ticket cards are. And so as soon as I found that out, I was totally blown away. And I was like, I need to rethink my strategy here. Because I don't know if I'm going to be buying that many, if at all, of those booster boxes. Because I thought that everything that was on the English side on Celebrations, all those cards, was something that you can pull out of a booster box. I didn't know that.
Because it's when they started coming out with the cards, you could note that some of the leaks were out of 28 and some of them were out of 20 in the bottom corner, and you started to realize that the way they're going to distribute this and how it's going to look, a lot of those promo cards are only going to be available for people who buy a certain amount of product at the Pokemon Center, or in a couple other various ways.
Right.
So I'm kind of see how it plays out on that, So I think that it's buy my booster boxes up front with X amount of my Japanese allocated money, and then kind of see what happens next with how to get some of the promos, and see how much, see what the reality ends up being, right? Like
Right.
that's fully what I expect, to your point. And I think it's going to be, it's going to be, it's still going to be really exciting, I think, to open up the Japanese product, but it does throw a monkey wrench in things for sure for the chases. So I want to see exactly how it ends up playing out. But
Same.
I think you're right. It is going to be definitely different. And I think it's, part of why I've spent what I've spent or plan to on English. Yeah. So I don't know. Are you planning on getting any Japanese product? Like, cause I know you love Japanese as much as I do. Like, what are you thinking? Oh, on that side?
Dude, I was gonna, because here's what I was thinking. I was thinking that it was gonna be something similar to CP6, where you have these cool chase cards to pull. You got the regular
Mm-hmm.
Charizard, you get that cool Charizard. I think it's an EX, but it
The
looks like an
secret
alternate
rare.
art to me. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's
super
sick.
cool with
Yeah.
Flareon or somebody else in
Mm-hmm.
there.
Yeah. Flareon's in it. Yeah.
Or you got the Venusaur, you got the Blastoise, like you
Mm-hmm.
got all these really cool different types of cards, and I thought that was very interesting. I thought it was a solid set, haul in every pack. I'm all for it. Let's do it. I thought it was going to be something similar to that, but with all these, these cards are beautiful. They're so cool. And with the
Yeah.
design of the 25th logo compared to the English, the celebrations,
It's so much better.
so much better.
So much
And it
better.
has like the cool gold border with the little red 20. I mean, it just looks beautiful. So I was like, man, it's going to have these cards in there. It's going to be really fun to open and to pull, and they're going to look aesthetically like pleasing to my eye. I was looking at all the leaks and I was like, gosh, I can look at the English and I can look at the Japanese, and the Japanese is clearly better. And just in my opinion, and it just looks better to me. So I was like really excited for that. And then I did more digging and I found out that they're only going to be in the promo packs. And again, from what we've heard, we don't know. Like you said, let's wait
All right.
to see how it plays out. So I think that's kind of what I'm waiting for, the set to be officially released. And I think that it's interesting that it's actually going to be released after English. English is going to be released on the 8th. 25th anniversary is going to be released on like the 22nd or something like that, when that second wave hits.
I think it is. Yeah.
So I thought that was super interesting. So I feel like I'll probably get some stuff, hopefully in store, at MSRP for celebrations, open some up, have some fun, enjoy it, and then kind of wait to see how the 25th kind of looks like. And I'll probably be buying a lot of those single pack promos. I think that they'll be cool. I think that they'll be fun to either open or just to keep sealed. I think that they might do well over time. Like if anything, like to have that potential of like, I haven't seen anything in regards to the Japanese Brown Gold Star, but if they have something like that, that's my jam. Like I need something like that. Like more than anything, that's what I want, So I think that that'd be really cool to kind of hold on to those. And I think that they do well over time.
So here's what I think might happen is that, let me think. The set that's in the booster boxes has more cards. That's the 28 card
28.
set, right?
Yep.
So like Venusaur isn't in that, right?
Nope.
For example,
The classic
right?
collection isn't in it.
Right. Now, could there be secret rares, or could there be other things in this Japanese set that we don't know about? We don't know. Could they do some sort of box topper thing with a promo pack inside of those? Maybe. I don't know.
Definitely. Right.
I just know that we assume it's going to be split like the English one is. We don't know. Like you never know what you're going to get with Japanese products sometime, but yeah. And then there's the whole, that insane gold box, which I don't know if I really want to spend the money on that. Like it seems a little over the top for me.
The ones with the 2 gold promos. Is that what you're talking about?
But it's what's in it? Let me see if I can find it.
The Pikachu and then the Pokeball.
It's got like literally everything is gold. I'm trying to remember if I have the pictures anywhere. Yeah. So it's got those two, and like the it's got one of these. Let me grab it. It's got like one of these, but in like a vertical one, and it's got like a couple other things. Yeah, deck box, but like a nice, this is like a leather one. So they're like, I don't know, $150 or whatever. And I don't know. What I don't know is how many. I think that only has promo packs. I'm not sure if it has, because usually like they don't do it like English, right? So when in English you get like booster packs everywhere, you don't usually in like Japanese alternate product. You get something else, you get a promo or whatever. Or like I have the EV box right here that just has whole booster boxes in it, right? You don't get like individual packs like that. So I think that one has those, but it's like, that's crazy when you think about it, right? However many, if it's like 5 or 6 single card promo packs in a $150 box, like those things are going to be tough to get if that's really how this plays out. Like, and also like, I remember seeing they shut down all the Pokemon centers in Japan. Like, I don't know if they're reopening them or like how, like, and I know there's a lottery system involved with the first wave of products. So I've been working like I have a guy who is in Japan on the ground that I work with, who I have like a good business relationship with, and now like have cultivated a friendship with. And so, he even thinks a lot of it for him will end up, coming off the secondary market. But in Japan, it's different. It's like more like reasonable than in the US, from getting it on the secondary market on the ground, right? So his prices will still be pretty good, I think. But yeah, it's gonna be wild to see how that plays out. And like that's my plan, is to spend more on that still, because like I just think the booster boxes are killer and the logo's killer and all that. And I perceive from a dollar perspective that I'm going to have to pay a certain amount to get those boxes. I'm not going to pay pre-order prices right now, which are whatever, crazy. $250 a box, I think, right? Maybe more.
Are you talking about for the booster box or the premium?
For the booster box, yeah, not the premium. The booster box,
premium collection is going for like $700-800.
1,000, right, yeah, of course it is. Yeah, it's crazy. So
wild.
So it's like, yeah, but even if those end up being whatever it is, 100, 125, like I'm only gonna spend so much on this, because again, it's a long game and there's lots to be had. So yeah, it's like I'm definitely spending more on English than I ever would have for another set. And that will be definitely a component as this plays out. So yeah, man, I hope people listen to this, because I remember telling that to a couple of my friends, like, hey, do you see that these have different numbers? Like, there's only one way to get packs, basically, and they are the one version of the core set that come in a booster box. Like, you're like, it's so interesting that they did it that way too. It's so interesting. I don't know what to think of it, like why they did it that way. There's always been differences in English and Japanese, but usually it's like the more traditional, you get 2 sets that become one, right? You get various cards eliminated from one side or the other. But this is a totally different way of doing things. And it's going to be interesting if it sets a precedent for how Japanese products work going forward.
Could be.
That lottery system's in place in Japan for sure. Like for the what were they? The stamps, which I'd kind of forgotten about, but the ones that have like that like pay tribute to the wood block art. I don't know when I'm going to end up being able to get those, but they changed the distribution so that the first ones you had to like enter a lottery, and if you won this lottery, you then had to physically go to, I think, a museum in Osaka or something. That's like I forget the guy, my Japan guy was telling me about it, like I don't want to sound stupid, but I feel like it was like a stamp museum or something like that.
That's
Right.
crazy.
And that's where they like release them in conjunction with Japan Post. I don't know, something crazy like that. So, and then I don't know, how long it's going to take to get those ripped out, but there's going to be a lot of it later in the second wave and heavily distributed. But at any rate, yeah, it's still going to be super fun, I think, to like open and display those, but it's going to be, it almost creates a good balance, it gives more of an incentive to actually enjoy some English this time around, which we all know is easier to get a lot of time, like just from you can walk into a Walmart and hope it's there, you don't have to make a proxy account or go on Buy or have a connection. So how do you usually get your Japanese product?
And just to like a little, fun fact here, I'm just kind of in my analytics. Ooh. And I did a post, in regards to, what are you more excited for? And I put celebrations, so English, or 25th anniversary Japanese. And it's like 60-40, which I was really shocked about. We had 103 votes. So, not the biggest data pool or sample size, but that's okay. Yeah. And it's so funny because I was totally leaning towards 25th, man. I really was. Like, I was like, this Japanese all the way. It's not even close. I'm not even going to open a celebrations pack because that stupid logo. And now I got to deal with the dumb logo because it's going to be available earlier, which again, usually Japanese is. Yeah. And like half the cards are chopped, all the ones I want. I'm like,
I know.
So I'll probably go for the promo packs. I'll kind of see what those prices look like. And yeah, if we have, because I don't think they released the full set on the Japanese side. They didn't give all 28 cards, I believe. So it would be really cool if they threw in some extras that weren't on celebrations on the English side that made it like stand out. Or
so I'm saying, dude, knows? Secret rares. Give me some secret rares. Give me, I don't know,
like a cool alternate art,
Oh man. I mean, there's just so many things it could be, right? So many. Yeah. So this is what I'm trying to pull up. Like that full art Pikachu, that will be in the packs.
Yes, that'll be in the packs.
But like birthday Pikachu won't, for
birthday
example.
Pikachu won't, because it's a reprint.
Right.
So if it's a
Professor
reprint,
Oak, yeah, it's a
the
reprint,
classic
like
collection.
That. Yeah, yeah. So I'm trying to see if they've released any more of the set list lately.
So yeah, so like the big ones from what I've seen so far, like the Professor's Research, with Professor Oak, that's in the set. That full art little Pikachu there from base set, that's in the set. The Flying Pikachus, the Surfing Pikachu VMAXs, the Gold Mew, and then the regular Mew, that's in the set, So and don't get me wrong, they're cool. That Mew, the regular Mew Holo, that artwork is actually gorgeous. I really, really like that card. I think it's phenomenal. But
yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Well, cool. Any other last thoughts in regards to Celebrations 25th before we move on here?
It's just going to be super fun. It's going to be a ride for sure. But I think last thing I would say is, because I'm here real quick, we can just tell people, where do you go to get your Japanese product for 25th anniversary? Like, how are you going to try to get your hands on it?
Honestly, it's just going to be through auctions on eBay, whatever the cheapest available way. I don't have any distributors. Some of them get Japanese product and I'll go through them, like Rosarelli on Instagram. I've gone through him a bunch of times, like with Shiny Star V. I remember when he got like a small restock of Tag All-Stars for $75 a box like a year ago. I bought 4 of them and I should have bought more. I know.
Should have bought them all.
I know. So if I have like buddies who are like, little distributors, I'll get through them. But you can find stuff at auction on eBay for very, very cheap, good prices. And you can buy like in bulk. So like 4 or 5 boxes for like, 10-20% off of what they're going for as singles. So I'll try to look for that. And then on the English side, again, I got some buddies that are, have small shops, online stores, whatnot, Jodo Collectibles, and again, some other guys that I might be able to get some product through, or most likely just Walmart.
Yeah.
For English,
for sure.
Sorry. Yeah. How about you?
English side, like I said, I've pre-ordered some stuff. I'll try my Walmart once in a while. I've got friends in the network, right, who have, same with you, like guys who have, have distributor licenses and everything. So I can always go there. I'm not not super stressed about that. So
Totally.
Don't think I'll really touch unless there's and again, it's hard. I don't know if I'll be buying singles of this set, but if I had to, obviously, eBay and Mercari, all the classic stuff. But on the Japanese side, Bai Japan is Yahoo Auction. It's the way for English Americans to access Yahoo auctions if you don't have a proxy account. Nin Gaming, NIN. They usually, I got, if you order enough to cover the shipping, you can usually do okay there on prices. So they have a ton of stuff. And then my guy on the ground for sure. But I think that there'll be some online channels like that. People should definitely check out Bai, definitely be checking out Nin. There's some really, I have a Facebook account with no friends. That's just my buying and selling account. And there's some really good Japanese groups that are solely Japanese collectors. Awesome. So there's some really good connections I made in there too. So don't worry, guys. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Hit us up if you need help. There's guys on Instagram. Shoes for Your Feet, I think, is the one dude on Instagram who's he's the homie. Always has Japanese products. So I think you sent me to him one time. Mm-hmm. So I think that's how I found him. So, but yeah, that's 25th, guys. So we'll have more for you post-release. We'll be talking about it. Maybe we'll have to do one pack battle or something stupid on a podcast just to bring the views in. We can clickbait everyone. It's going to be great. KANTO Conversations, the clickbait conversations.
Yeah, dude. Should we do the open mouth thumbnail? Yeah.
It's just what I wanted. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
No,
all right. So
all right. Over under.
All right.
Overrated.
Over under. Underrated. Where you at?
PWCC fixed marketplace.
Okay.
So hear me out. Okay. Whatever you think of PWCC and their alleged show bidding activities on eBay, this is my thesis. Okay. And I've had this play out for me already, where I think what happened is a lot of people had stuff in the vault at PWCC. So if you guys don't know what that is, basically, if you buy something from PWCC on eBay previously, you could save on sales tax and I think shipping sometimes too, I forget, but definitely sales tax because they're in Oregon, and have your card sent directly to the vault there. So basically they store it for you and then you can decide if you want to take it later or you want to list it or whatever. So no PWCC expert, but that's kind of how it goes. So, or you could send cards there to be, auctioned off in the future on PWCC or listed, what have you. So listed on what previously was eBay at auction or fixed marketplace, all these things. Well, they got kicked off of eBay. So now you have the ability to, there's a premium auction level, but just at the basic level, there's a fixed marketplace now. There's not a widespread auction, but it's basically people can list cards either outright or, OBO, best offer. And I think what's happened is a lot of people are forgetting that fixed marketplace exists. So there's not a lot of, right. And you just don't think about it. There's not a lot of traffic going to that site. So I was on there the other day looking for a couple specific cards I wanted, and I ended up getting a super good deal on one card and almost closed the deal on another. But as I was doing trading offers back and forth with those guys, and then I also had talked to a buddy who was doing it with one or two other cards on there as well. You can actually see the cards that have the most activity, and our cards were all at the top. So I'm I know this isn't a Saturday or Sunday night, it was on a Tuesday or something, but I think sellers are starved over there and they've got their cards stuck in the vault and they don't want to pull them all out of there because it's their medium to sell. So now they're stuck using PWCC, who hasn't built out a full auction platform yet. And so I think there's some people who need some liquidity, so you can go find some good deals over there. So that's my underrated.
Love it. Love it. I have 2 this week, and it's going to be quick.
Yeah.
So the first, just a couple that I have. These are Japanese black and white booster packs. These are base set, one half of base set. But I think that all in all, in general, you can still find these Japanese packs for like $30 to like $40. And I think that the reason why it makes the cut today is because you have this combination of low entry point, and they're becoming more and more scarce. Like the boxes themselves are getting tougher to come by. Like you look at the Japanese side versus the English side, there's dozens of English black and white, you know, and you know that I love black and white. We've been doing box breaks on the channel. Like it's super fun. Like the cards, the quality, they're awesome. They're super fun. And so, and I guess I should throw out a warning here. Like I'm not trying to juice up black and white so you'll participate in the box break. That's not my thinking here. I'm just talking about loose single packs from various sets that you can still find for a very affordable price point. And they are becoming harder and harder to come by. So I think it's a cool way. The pack arts are beautiful. They just look stunning, and it's not going to break the bank. And you can collect the entire black and white set, all the different packs from that set, because there's only one pack art for the entire box. It's not like, or for the entire set, it's not like four for, you know, on the English side.
Right.
So you can collect one of each and just get the whole collection for like, I don't know, under a few $100s. Like, and that's really cool because you can complete something. You have, you know, different options, and like, it kind of hits all those factors of, the OCD of finishing off a set, as well as, you know, low entry point and something that is not as abundant on the supply side. You know, like it's not like there's just dozens and dozens and dozens of these listings, and that's why it's such a cheap price point, is because there's so much supply out there. But that supply is like not as much as on the English side. So I thought that that's like a pretty cool way to collect for a good price point. And I don't know, man, I'm just looking at these, and I have a handful of them that I've got for like $20 to $25 like a few months ago. And I just
should people assume that are those weighable? Like, should people assume that any listing is not something they probably want to open?
Yes, they are weighable. They but I've never ever seen a heavier light listing for those packs.
Interesting.
That being said, you can still weigh them because there's no code card, and they do have hollows. And so the hollows are going to have to be heavier, if not a full, you know, it's going to have to be heavier than that. So yes, you can weigh them technically, but I think it's from an era where people don't think about weighing those packs.
Yeah.
You know? So
I only say it just to like buyer beware.
Throw caution to the wind.
So
definitely. I completely agree. Always, like, if you're buying anything from a seller you haven't bought before, and it's a booster pack, unless it has a guaranteed hollow in it, you should assume it's light. Like, it's just kind of like how your mind should work, unless they're a super reputable seller where you can trust what they're saying. But beyond that, everything that I've bought, I'm not opening up any of my packs, because you're right, it could be weighed.
Plus, they're friggin' beautiful. Those pack arts are stunners. So,
yeah.
Awesome.
And then the second one, theme decks from Diamond and Pearl.
Okay.
Diamond and Pearl era theme decks. There's another generation of theme decks, and I'm going to say for next over under, because I didn't want to do too much. But I got those off of Collector's Cash for $30 each. And within every single pack, you get a guaranteed hollow. You get the Electivire hollow, or whatever, you know, that's what Electivire's, you know, on the theme deck. And so on the back, you get an Electivire hollow, but they have different theme decks with different Pokemon on it. So, you know, you get that hollow or whatnot. And why I like them is because They look badass. Very low entry point. And Diamond and Pearl, there's a lot of low pop cards from that set that people are chasing right now. In fact, I feel like every single day there's a new Instagram post that I see people that are throwing up these low pop Diamond and Pearl cards because people want to chase them. They want to chase that rarity and scarcity. And so like they're seeing other collectors like show this stuff off and it's like, ooh, those artworks are actually cool. I'm going to start collecting that now. And it's becoming more and more popular, like the platinum era, the Diamond and Pearl era, Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I'm seeing a lot more of these posts on Instagram as compared to just even like 4, 5, 6 months ago.
Yeah,
so
especially with the remakes heating up.
And that was
the Switch.
Yep. And that was the last point, is that like with that new game coming out in January, so just a few months away, there's going to be more attention drawn to that era. And so I think that most of the theme decks right now on eBay are anywhere between like 30 or 35 and like $70. So I think that they're still very affordable. They look really cool as display pieces, and you get a guaranteed holo in each one, and more cards as well. So you can open them to have fun, to try to get a shot at grading something. You can keep them sealed, and they're very affordable. So that kind of like, those are the two in regards to my underrated for this week.
The nice thing about that price point is like the probability of those being resealed is probably pretty low, like it's probably, are there any telltales or any good way? Like, is there a seam that people should look for or anything to,
I don't have a ton of experience in that. So I'm not going to share my thoughts because I don't know. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
With you. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything being resealed from openings or stuff on Instagram or anything like that. But you're right. Always
cool product. It's a great. I love products like that where it's like a good, like affordable entry point for something that like looks really cool on display. Right. So, you're giving me the itch for these freaking eras that I spend the least amount of time in. So they're very fun, complimentary in that regard. They are cool. They're super cool. So awesome.
How about overrated for you?
All right. So I think you're going to resonate with this one in some ways because I think you touched on it a little bit in a recent video, but for me, and I've been thinking about this a lot because I have been after some specific cards from like the e-reader era. So Expedition, Skyridge, Aquapolis, and their
beautiful sets.
Their Japanese equivalents. Yeah, there's just something about even like, especially with Skyridge and Aquapolis, like soup to nuts, full, like it's like every card it feels like is just like, come on, like just the effort they put into the artwork was absurd. So and I've really been thinking more and more, and I've always been a 9 collector, but I think I've really reiterated my stance that I think PSA 10s are overrated. I just do. And that's, coming from a place of the dollar spread between a 9 and a 10, where if you can look at a 9 and objectively feel that it has very nice eye appeal for you as a collector, maybe the flaws are driven from the back, and in many cases barely has any, noticeable difference from, a lot of 10s out there of the similar card. I just think it's a great way to collect. Like for me, I was looking at a card today and I'm like, do I even throw the low ball offer on this 10? Like, I don't need the 10. Like for me, I don't like, I think that, to your point, you talked about it in your video and people don't realize this. Like when you understand the definition of what a gem mint 10 is, there can still be a flaw in that card, and that's fine for it to be a 10, like, because that's the parameters. But when you start to think about that, right, you start to think about the fact that, this is a 10, but it's still flawed. For me as a collector, every card I have, like largely every slab in my personal collection, except for one, is a 9.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a couple 8s, but there's only one 10.
Right.
That I actually didn't even pick, which sounds crazy, but I didn't even pick up till this year, but it was a good deal. So that aside, I think that there's certain cards where 10s do hold a right, it's the word I'm looking for, a deserved differential, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think of certain Black Star promos. I think of even just something in base set like a Chansey, right? That we all know is pretty hard to grade. Mm-hmm. The Black Star promo Eevee with the tricolor hollow, like beautiful. Really hard to grade, and like
very low pop.
Yeah, because you look at the pops, and the pops for some of these cards are quite large, but the percentage of 10s is incredibly low, and that can be for a lot of reasons, but and it's going to be very card specific. Mm-hmm. But I think there are some like that, but I think by and large, like a lot of cards as a collector and as like a bang for your buck, what you're getting from a, collection enjoyment standpoint, and also in an environment where like, I think prices are really extended, especially on 10s. Like when I look at the E-Series era, I'm like, look, I think some of these 9s are super low pop. They're like just as beautiful as the 10s I'm seeing. Like if you're buying the card and not the grade, you can get a really good bang for your buck buying a 9.
Oh, definitely.
That you study well and definitely wait for the right card, right? You wait for the right one. So that's me. I know a lot of people are, 10 collectors, and that's cool. And like, I totally respect that. It has just never been my thing. And I think that there's too much focus on it. So that's mine.
Yeah, no, I totally get it, man. There's lots of times where I look at a 9 to 10, and it's a lot easier for me to differentiate that grade difference on English as compared to Japanese. I find a lot of times on Japanese, I'm like, where's the flaw here? Like
I know it's hard.
What is it? And it's usually like this little tiny like ding, like somewhere like kind of on the border of the card, not necessarily in the corners, but it's like almost like this super super small indent, but not really an indent, but like some type of factory nick or something like that I'll find, or the centering is just a little too off on the front. You know what I mean? Like just
it's usually centering a lot, especially on the WotC era ones. Like it's like up, it's a little bit of centering,
right?
And it might even be the back. Like I've seen a lot of them where like the back centering is just super weirdly off. So,
but it's a lot harder to tell on the new back for the centering on the back as compared to the
fade
back. Right?
Yeah, because it like fades in. It's super weird.
And PSA is very
not easy
with the backside. It's 30-70. For the ratio as compared to 40-60 on the front. So it's like I've definitely seen cards where I'm like, man, this just makes sense. And then also like, here's the thing is like when you have PSA 10s that are going for a high price point, they can be subject to like hitting these extreme lows as well, because who knows how many more are going to come into the pop. You know what I mean? Like who knows how many more are going to be graded now, like these super low pop cards like Yanma or, Slow King from Neogen, or like, Blissey Neo Rev, like chances are we're not going to see too many of those. And that's why they're going to kind of, keep those high value points, but for a lot of like common cards, like, and we saw this, like even with like base set Charizard PSA 10, it went for like 16,000 and dropped back to like 10, you know what I'm saying? And like that's a huge swing, and so I feel like PSA 10s are kind of subject to like the most swing instead of the 9s. I feel like the 9s don't go down or up as much. They're kind of like, they'll see minor or like influxes or kind of decreases, but it's not like these drastic like ups and downs. Now obviously that there's
always
exceptions that are gonna do that, so don't hold me hostage.
Buyer beware.
But
not financial advice, whatever.
Right. But I do feel like the 9s are a very safe bet, and that as a collector, they're you can find them for low entry points and they still look phenomenal. They do. I
Yeah.
totally get that, man. So it kind of depends on the card and how expensive it is for me, because I have a lot of 10s in my collection that I've invested in, and the ones that I go after, I try to go after popular Pokemon from popular sets, and a lot of these cards have gone up. Like I'd probably say
Oh
about
yeah.
like 90% of the 10s I've owned have gone up. Now there are some that have gone down. Looking at one right now, the CP6 Charizard. I bought it
Ooh,
1,000. It's selling at like 500 to 600 right now. And like, that's
yeah.
just what happens. Like I said, those
Yeah.
swings can happen when you have a lot coming in, a lot coming out. So, I think it's a good point to bring up, because it's not just about the
Yeah.
10s. It's not.
And I think just one other thing is that like that's key. Like I say that like when I give my overrated PSA 10s, like yes, I historically have been a 9 guy for just I don't know, it's just a weird thing about me, I guess. But I very much so mean like in the current environment. I think because to your point, we've seen more extreme volatility in those 10s and just like weird ranges on cards that don't really make sense to me.
Yeah.
And then of course the whole like really buying the card, not the grade, and people becoming more aware. And
Mm-hmm.
there's cards I've bought and sold and just like dumped because I'm like, this is not the grade on it, right? So I gotta, you have to off like you're going to be kind of left holding the bag there. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that it was easier in the past to get really great 10s at a good price, and they have been great, investments or specs or whatever. And I think it's just gotten a lot harder. And then as a collector, it's just harder for your dollars to go as far now with where 10s sit. And obviously all of this is really broadly speaking, and there's always going to be opportunities. There's always going to be a forced seller. There's always going to be anomalies and idiosyncrasies and inefficiencies. But what's yours? Give me your overrated.
And it's funny because I have,
you got so many props.
I have
all
these
the props.
These items.
I just got this Pikachu. Darkness Ablaze.
Darkness Ablaze.
Yeah.
And so I got this box when the set came out from Rosarelli, go give him a follow. Phenomenal price. I think it was like $90, something like that. Super mint box. And I was like, do you know what? It's got Charizard on it. I'm just going to throw it back and see what happens. Well, this box has doubled. It's selling at $180 to $200 right now, within what, a year? Not even a year.
Yeah.
Not even sure. And I don't understand why it's at that price point. In fact, I'm very nervous that they're going to reprint it and it's just going to like, and you have Vivid Voltage that's sitting at like $150 a booster box right now. And that set has way more potential beyond like just the cool, amazing rares. And like the overall, I think the set is better, the artwork, everything. But you also have the Chonky Chew in there. And that card is a big ticket card. PSA 10, they're selling for like $600. The biggest chase card in Darkness Ablaze is the Charizard VMAX, which one doesn't even look that good. The VMAX is just the Pokemon gets lost in the background. It just doesn't look that good to me. And two, it's only selling for like $180 to $200. And beyond that, that set is dry. Like it's got the cool Caesar, I guess. Salamence is kind of cool, but all of those are selling in PSA 10 like $60. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't get why that set is where it is right now, because the fundamentals aren't there for that. So if you're a Darkness Ablaze collector, you love this set, please tell me in the comments down below, like what about this set is good or why you think it's at this price point. Because to me, Vivid Voltage is a 10 times better set and it's still selling for like, 15-20% less than what this box is going for right now. So I'm probably going to sell this box now and just take those double profits, because I don't see it going anywhere else, and I'm afraid it's going to get reprinted and then go back down. And I think it's at a good high point. So I'll probably be listing on eBay sometime soon. Probably not good for business to say that you shouldn't buy it, but that's okay. I don't care. I won't be selling to anybody watching this stuff.
Someone will buy. I mean, the demand is there. Is that probably not, but what did that box peak at
right now?
Is it right now still?
This is the peak. Yeah.
because that's what's so interesting about Vivid Voltage is it peaked hard and crashed almost just as hard. And I had a buddy with cases, and I'm like, bro, it is time to offload. And he did, and then it got cut in half basically. So James, if you're watching, you owe me on that case. So no, but he knows what he's doing. But
that's funny.
Yeah, there's just that weird Charizard tax or like Charizard premium on some of these sets that I will just never understand. I just don't get it. I just don't. And it's not even, to your point, it's not even that nice of a Charizard. So yeah, I mean, it's fun to open, but gosh, it's like there's so many more things that come in the hierarchy for me than that set, when it comes to modern. So,
and if they had the rainbow Charizard in it from Champion's Path, it would make a lot of sense.
It would have broken people's brains, dude. Oh man,
it really would have made sense.
$500 right now.
Yeah, it makes sense why this set would be where it is for the booster box, but it's just weird. Like there's no other set where it has a VMAX, and then there's another set where it has the rainbow rare of that same artwork. Like it's so random, So I don't know. The Darkness Ablaze is a bit random for me. Champion's Path is a bit random for me. It just doesn't make sense as like an identity standpoint of like where those sets are. I think that they're like mixed, and then you got a shiny Charizard randomly thrown in there where it's like no other shiny Pokemon, but you have that for Champion. It's just a little random. So and then also there's no alternate arts,
right?
They hadn't brought that in yet. So I don't know. That's I'm not saying all Vivid Voltage, all Sword and Shield boxes are overrated. Just Darkness Ablaze as of right now. That's the one that I kind of, I'm thinking about.
I really like Sword and Shield base, actually.
Oh, really? I don't know anything about this.
I've opened a handful of packs because they've been in different like stuff I've picked up at Walmart, and I've really enjoyed it. There's been some really cool cards in there. I'm trying to think what I've pulled. I think there was like a cool Snorlax in there. I think there's a cool Lapras in there. There's some other neat stuff. So way better than anything I've experienced from Darkness Ablaze, that's for sure. So I'm just waiting for Crimson Invasion to get really cheap. That's what I want. I just want to chase the Gyarados.
Oh,
I want it to be even cheaper. I want it to be the cheapest thing. I want it to be like,
where is it right now? Because I thought it was dirt cheap.
I don't even look because I know it is pretty cheap, but like I can't bring myself to like, I'd rather just buy the damn card in 3 years. Like I just don't want to right now. But yeah, no, I know because that set's like so trash, but the Gyarados is so good. There's some okay singles.
You get the Lucamine. That's a big hitter from that set.
The hardest part about these sets is like they're like I'm not gonna open any of this Fusion Arts whatever set, but there are some really cool commons in there. Like just some standard cards that's just like boom, like when the artwork just hits you. And
dude, the Deoxys is so sick from that. I think it's like a regular, I don't know if it's a hollow or non-hollow, but that card is just pure perfection.
Yeah, and as soon as you start seeing packs open too, that for me like have Gen 1 Pokemon in them, I'm just like with the cool new artworks, it doesn't matter if they're non-hollows. I'm like, I'm about that. So, but I can only have so many binders, many binder sets. So if it doesn't have the hits in it that you want to chase, I'm just not going to go for it. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how they keep like adapting the cores of the set, right? Which thematically what Pokemon they introduced, to your point, how they work with alternate arts or not in sets, shinies and rainbows and all this stuff. So you guys can get your Crimson Invasion box right here, right? Or your Darkness Ablaze box right here. Let's chill our stuff, guys.
Oh man, just on principle, I will not sell to anybody on here who watches this podcast and reaches out about the box. I just won't. I refuse to be one of those people that chill up my own stuff. It's just not ever going to happen.
Yeah. I know. I feel you there. That's what, like, I posted about, as an aside, I posted about my amazing rares this week. And I'm like, basically I fully disclosed on there, like, hey, I'm also selling these right now. Like, it was funny. Like, I posted about mine, and the dude who I sold one to off eBay messaged me the same day and was like, thanks for my card. And for, like, I always throw like free bulk and stuff in there. He's like, thanks for the extra cards. Like, this is really awesome. I'm like, yeah, I just posted about like mine. Like, you got to be so careful with that, because it's like, you never want to like look like you're showing your own stuff. So it's hard, right? Because it's like, you end up with doubles of stuff, like, especially with like lots and, V and V Max, like singles and stuff. So it's hard, but no, I think people know where you're coming from. When you think something's doesn't make a lot of sense, it's okay to offload it. And there's people who want it and who genuinely want it for different reasons, no matter what the price point is. And so that's, we talked about being a great seller in a previous podcast. And part of it is like, if you can like find the right person who does want it at that price point, or even better, like trade it for something, where like someone's collecting every booster box from that era, and you want, there's a lot of opportunities still to like move it in like a responsible way. So
definitely.
Yeah, man. So any closing thoughts? Anything cool you've been picking up lately or you're excited about besides celebrations?
Yes, I think if I start talking about this, I'm gonna talk too long. Let me ask you that question, because if you can make it short and sweet, I want to know what you've been picking up that you want to share.
It's always a hard question, because I like, not that I move the needle in any way, but I tend to chase things that are kind of like more scarce, that don't always come up a lot. But something I have been picking up that's been cool, and I'll just show people that I think are neat, are these Harry Potter Panini sticker slabs. Sometimes on auction you can get these for like $20-$30 in a 9, and they're kind of cool. So there's like a handful that I want, and I want every one. This is like the first print, and I just love Harry Potter a lot. So I've enjoyed like looking for these. There's one auction house who's just been churning them out. So it's like, if I'm going to spend $20 or $25, get, they're auctions. So I'm just trying to get lucky. Other than that, trying to upgrade some of my sealed collection, trying to flip some of my, to your point about showing or selling stuff we have. I'm selling some of my graded sealed packs, and then going to try to buy or get a good deal on some that are in the new, like, unfolded version. So I just have a couple of, like, I have this one that I just bought that I always try to go for auctions for this stuff. So I felt like I got a good deal on an auction. So first edition Lapras. And then I have the first edition Zapdos art, which, like, I guess is more popular, but I like the Lapras better. So I just and it's in the new style. So I just went for it. So that's what I've been looking at lately. So some stuff like that. So, and then, those grails, always chasing those grails. So how about you?
Nice, man. Yeah. I mean, I'll just say one thing is that I recently bought a Japanese EX Dragon booster pack. Just a single pack. Nice. It was new on eBay, through an offer, and I said if they accept it, awesome. If not, no worries. They countered for like $5 more than my offer, so so it was like,
dude, that happened with me on a card the other day. I'm like, I should have just done $5 lower, because you would have, like, I know it's such a game, but that's sweet, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was like $220 or something like that, and I was like, I'll take that. And I slowly want to build out that one from every set for the
oh my gosh, There's
the
what,
EX
like
era.
15, 12? How many are there?
There's no, I don't think that many.
It's not that many.
I think I'd say around 12 or less. I don't think it's
Okay.
15. I
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly, but and do you know what? Maybe it's so funny because there are a ton. I was actually looking at all the
I
gold
know.
stars today, and I think that's what I was thinking of. So it might actually be a little bit higher. I'm thinking about all the ones with gold stars in them. So I think that my numbers
Gotcha.
are skewed. So yeah, I think that there are a bit more. Yeah, about 15 is probably about right. So I got one down.
12, 13, 14. There's 16.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
16. And then with Japanese, I mean, it's just, I think some of those are still. Are you going for every pack art, or how are you gonna
Well, they only
go
have
for it?
one pack
Oh,
art.
in Japanese, right? It's
Yeah.
the opposite. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. That's right.
So it won't be a crazy, something
That's
like
right.
to try to collect all the EX ones. But yeah, I think that just slowly over time, if I see something come up at a price point I'm comfortable with, I'll kind of pick stuff up. Like I have like
Mm,
3 or 4 like kind of collection goals that I go after at all times. And just whatever I can find comfortably that comes up at that point in time, I'll just pick stuff up. So I'm not like, I know
yeah.
like shout out to, collectible investor who just finishes Gym Hero set and PSA 10s, like some people, and I'm sure
Awesome.
he's got little side quests too, but a lot of people, like once they start something they want to complete it, and that's that. Like for me, I'm just like I'm in it for the long haul, that like I don't have to have that OCD in regards to finishing what I start, like all those
Hmm.
first edition base hollows that I've been collecting. I don't need to get them all now. Like I'm just going to pick them up slowly over time,
Yeah.
and kind of play the long game, because it's just financially um, smart, I guess you could say, for
Yeah,
lack of
because
better
you're not
words.
putting pressure on yourself. You
Yeah,
allow the opportunity to come to you. And if things start to get away from you, like that's okay. Like you can
totally.
wait, or you can just go for it, like whatever. But yeah, it's I'm largely the same way. There are some sets where I've like tried to hit the right timing and get a few of them together, or bought like lots together at various times.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm I'm definitely the same way. There's some great cards in that EX era. So the
Oh
packs will
gosh.
be a really cool quest, dude. That was it the Flareon from Silvery Ocean, Golden Sky Silvery Ocean or whatever. I think that's the one with like it's got big eyes. I think it's a Nishida.
So Golden Sky Silvery Ocean is
Yep.
Unseen Forces, right?
It's like one of the last ones. Yeah, Unseen
I
Forces.
believe
Yeah.
it's Unseen Forces. And are you talking about where he's kind of like the Flareon's like looking up and kind of?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
I think that's that set.
I think that the one from that's the Vaporeon is Nishida, and I actually think the Flareon's Himeno.
Oh,
I
is it
think
Himeno? Let me look. I'm looking it up now.
either that or Kimura.
Oh, it's Kimura.
Okay.
It's Kimura. It's
Yeah.
like the in between. It's like
Yeah.
almost has the big Nishida eyes, but not
Right.
quite that like full chibi look. And it's not quite Himeno. It's like perfectly in the middle. Oh, it's a great
Yeah.
card. Yeah. That's one I threw a safe search in for. I'm just keeping an eye on. So
And then I think the Jolteon's the Arita. I'm pretty sure that's what it
I
is,
think
because
you're right.
those cards are sick. And I shared you a post with you, I think, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, of like I think they were all 9s, but maybe they were 10s. I can't remember, but
I
they're just
forget.
really cool artworks. And you're right. There's a ton of just regular hollows, not even EXs or gold stars, but just regular hollows that are flying under the radar. In fact, one of the underrated that I was going to say are EX hollows.
Mm,
There is a shift tree from it's Legend Maker on the or on the English side, or Hidden Legends. I always get them confused.
hmm.
PSA 10 that sold for like $60, and it's a sick Arita artwork. I mean, it's just so cool.
Oh,
It's just so cool, and I'm just like, man, how are these going for so cheap? Like, I just don't
I
understand
know.
it. I just don't feel like there's
There
a lot
was a
of eyes on
weird like it happened where like people started like into like the end of last year, beginning of this year, like people shifted away from like original WotC, like kind of like base through gym. And then they like got into like E series, and then they like touched EX for a bit, and then people like went away again. Like it got a little popular at one period when like kind of everything was hyped, and then when things crashed, people kind of ran away. And there's a couple guys out there who really go hard after those sets, and like every time they post, I'm just like, I mean, there are many times where I've opened up all whatever we just said, dozen of those set lists or whatever, and just like which cards do I want from every set, because there's so many good ones. It's wild.
I've spent hours looking at all the artworks, man. I mean, EX is my favorite. The EX, that Gold Star era, it's hands down my absolute favorite.
You're gonna be hoarding Gold Star Greninjas over there.
Dude, that stupid logo on it, man. If it didn't have that logo, I probably would be. I'm not gonna lie. It's got that Cosmos holofoil on it, you know? It's sick, dude. But that stupid, you know. Anyways, I hope that would be cool if that was in the regular 25th anniversary. That was just part of the regular set. That would be sweet. I would chase that.
That would be really cool. So, oh man. Well, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it here. We're trying to keep these. We don't want to keep these short. We just like know that like we could go for 7 hours, so we should probably try to contain it. But man, we really appreciate your guys' feedback. I've just gotten so much good feedback and seen so many comments on these videos, and I think there's a core group of people who are really enjoying this, and means a lot. So thank you for listening to Kanto Conversations. As always, I am Connor from Rock Pokemon. As I like to say, collect what you love, but do it intelligently.
Thanks again, guys. Take care.
See ya.
See ya.